My name is Maria Alejandra Sosa de Benedetti. I'm doing my nurse degree at UBAT University, commissioned Fridays at the Alejandro Posadas Hospital in Aedo, Buenos Aires, Argentina, where I work every night B, 12 hours, on some days overtime nights, A, afternoon or mornings. A specific unit is adult respiratory emergency, and our team have a job rotation system. I apologize not to be able to film because now I'm a COVID patient, so I have to stay at home. I used to care patients 12 or 13 hours every day, every shift, and all of them with a respiratory affection, and the greatest amount of them with diseases like neurologic, cardiologic, EPOC, diabetics, chronic, palliative, renals, addicts, pancreatics, etc. The respiratory emergency is subdivided in triage, sketchers, and many chairs. Shock room, 7 beds with intubated patients. Emergency reception, 1 or 2 sketchers, where cars and ambulance areas are allowed to park, and those that contain high-risk respiratory patients. Near this door is a keeper cabinet. The Choquito, 1 bed, is the epicenter, where critical patients are immediately monitored and receive medication to save their lives, and where intubation often occurs. There is an electrocardiograph. Other 3 cabinets, each one with 1 sketcher, with emergency, surgery, gynecology, traumatology patients with respiratory complications. Other 3 rooms where patients who have respiratory diseases have to wait for their suite in a clinical area. 6 beds numbered 1 to 6. These compartments are often used as a shock room too. Another 9 rooms, 18 beds, for ill patients whom still under several risks. That means high suspected or confirmed with 19 COVID. In that, the last zone, patients could be transferred to medical suites, shock room, ICU, intensive care unit, or in the best conditions to their home. They could die if their respiratory function do not progress with our care or their own health and situation. Everywhere we have oxygen supply and suction devices, and in the shocking areas, invasive ventilators, and even though some multiparametric monitors, infusion pumps, and ambivacs where it's needed. We also have 2 first admissions cabinets, 1 for doctors, another for administrative staff. There are small toilets, dressing rooms, restrooms, and offices for doctors and nurses. Patients have 2 toilets, and there's a chatero, where some materials will be cleaned or sterilized by the assistants. There are some points to prepare medicines, and each one with clean and dirty zone. We have a small storeroom with materials and boxes for certain process. There's a hall where the assistant leaves patients with chairs, stretchers, and there's a X-ray machine. Emergency was always a shutdown area, but now it's more restrictive for families and denied for non-affected professionals due to prevention measures. These are very sad and hard days for us. We couldn't chat or have any contact with other colleagues or co-workers. It's forbidden to state without PPE protocol. PPE is personal protective equipment. Every nurse shift, I wash my hands, dress my uniform, donning PPE. I listen to the outgoing shift. I wash my hands again. I just open the door rooms and take a first evaluation of each patient of my designated area. And if it's needed, I try to solve the urgency or assist the doctor in that procedure. Then I introduce myself, I count patients with confirmed 19 COVID, suspect non-19 COVID or empty beds. Then I used to carry my personal kit with a thermometer, a pulse oximeter, a glucometer, a scissor, and a stethoscope, a tensiometer, some surgical tape, a box of gloves, a pair of sterilized gloves, 3 pens, a telegram, 6 charged batteries, a kosher grip, a small bottle of alcohol, cotton, some needles, intravenous catheters, surgeries, surgical blade, self-inking stamp, etc. I clean my desk, folders, surfaces, and some materials, and I plan the working day with my co-workers and shift. Or I should say better, we try to plan it. Once again, and too many times, I wash my hands in a meticulous way, donning and doffing PPE, change my mask, clean my face shield, my goggles, and more often we change the gloves and gowns. Then I look for medicines, emergency drugs, and the correct operation of equipments and systems. Take a look to the Baxters. Normal saline solutions, dextrose, mannitol, bicarbonate, lactate rinsers. Take a look to the procedure kits like intubation, enteral feeding, central venous access, urine drainage, central venous pressures, and other materials to do my tasks. Then I read diagnosis, analyze the fracturation, the daily reports, and last glucose results, and prepare the medicine. I go to the rooms with medicines and materials. As a rule, we start to observe each patient following the caudal cephalic method. This is the second evaluation. We ask them how do they feel if they could speak, see how they are, and after monitor ventilators or other systems. We listen how they breathe, take their saturation, temperature, pressure, cardiologic frequencies. Then we ask them if they eat and eat rest. We control the intake, output, and output chart and the renal function. Check the venous access and other accessories, Baxters, etc., while we try to obtain more information about their health and emotional condition. All the time, nurses are alert to patients' complications like breath, sedation, anesthesia, side effects, and ventilations competition. After that, I give them medicine, help them to prone or move or with their hygiene. I always check their diet. Sometimes I feed them. I encourage them to gradually improve, give them shelter and comfort, and sometimes education to get well. I'm always careful with their security and provide them humanistic care. During the diagnosis, my team and me, we try not to frequently enter in their suites, but it's impossible to achieve because they're severe virus and in many cases their clinical manifestations. And in other cases, glucose must be evaluated every hour. so they need our holistic support. I notify doctors if there's a new or a problem. After this moment, if it's possible, I write all my concerned registers. Nurses eat or drink when they could. During all the shift, patients are moved or transferred and have medical exam, and we have to report all of that. As a nurse, I cooperate with doctors, my workmates, and other professionals, sharing information, assisting them with intubations, tracheostomy, and other invasive procedures. We interact with other specialists too. The 19 COVID pandemic is a real challenge for us. Innovations and best practice are communicating every day by our shifts. To work as a team and have a good communication is very important everywhere, but here is indispensable and constant. When an emergency occurs, doctors, security guards, cleaning staff, pharmacists, other professionals like respiratory therapists, nurses assistants, we all help each other in that cases. Our solid group give us strength and reduce the stress. Sorry, I forgot to tell you that we always have a good cup of coffee or tea and a small bottle of water. Thank you very much.